You know the feeling? You open your eyes and the first thing you do is grab your phone and then bam, you're on social media. And the next thing you know, you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And before you know it, hours have passed. Sometimes you're actually entertained, but other times it's just a forced habit. And before you know it, you're in this endless cycle of just aimless scrolling, doom scrolling. Social media is designed to keep us hooked on these apps for as long as possible. That is their mere purpose. And they do so by giving us immediate gratification by those instant hits of dopamine and making us all into social media addicts. Post after post, post after post, we are all exposed to a skewed reality, which in turn damages our mental health. It allows insecurities and comparison syndromes to arise. It also feeds into our procrastination and reduces our attention span. And in result, it hinders our ability to be productive. So, if you find yourself spending too much mindless time on social media, then this video is for you. I will be sharing 7 tips to curb your social media addiction. I will help you understand why we do what we do and help you break that habit. Right, so let's get into it. How to stop your doom scrolling habit. So the first tip I have for all of you is mindful usage. So what I mean by that is being intentional with your screen time. So you can do that by tracking how much time you spend on your device each day. So apps like Screen Time, which are built into your iOS, and Digital Wellbeing on Android can actually give you insights into your usage patterns. They're extremely useful in understanding how much time you're spending on each of the apps. You can then also set yourself realistic limits and stick to these. Remember, it's not about cutting out technology altogether, but rather finding a healthy balance between the two. So for example, I have an iPhone, and on my iPhone I can actually see how much time I spend on each of the apps. It breaks it down into categories of social, entertainment, and creativity. So it will show you how much time you spend on your iPhone over a whole week. It can also show you your most used apps and also how much time you're spending on each of these during the week. Not only that, it can also show you how much to use when you first pick up your phone. And it can also show you which apps you use when you get notified from them. So it's a really useful thing to be looking at. It breaks down by week and by day, so it's really, really useful. The next tip I have for you is creating digital detox zones. So what I mean by that is actually designating specific areas in your home or your workplace where technology is off limits. So for example, in your bedroom, you could create your bedroom to be a sanctuary free from the distractions of screens. So keep your devices out of reach and invest in maybe an old-fashioned alarm clock, which wakes up in the morning. Which in the result, what we'll do is it'll stop you from having to reach for your phones in the morning. And we're just creating a very calming environment in the room, maybe having some like dimming lights and having some books to read, lighting some candles. All of these things truly do actually create a difference in your well-being. And by creating these tech-free zones, you're creating a space for relaxation and better quality sleep, and all of which lead into a better mind and a better life. So do let me know in the comments down below if you already do have any digital detox zones in your house, and leave those ideas down below in the comments for everyone else to also get some ideas and inspirations from. So next up, we have got a notification detox. So what I mean by notification is like the constant buzz and beeps that we get on our phone that demand our attention day in, day out. So it's time to take back control of our digital life by decluttering those notifications. So what you can do, you can actually review app settings and disable notifications for non-essential apps. Same with social media. So if you go into your phones, you can actually change your setting, which allows you to disable the notifications, so you're not actually getting any notification anytime anything happens. I mean, do we really need to know every time someone likes your post on social media? Of course not, right? Guys, do embrace the power of the do not disturb mode in your phones. I think those are amazing. And nowadays you can set multiple do not disturb modes. You have a disturb mode for your work settings, for maybe when you're just having a relaxation time, and these are all really great for when you need a break from the digital noise. I do it all the time, especially when I'm in work mode. I always turn on my do not disturb mode, but also at nighttime on my iPhone, I turn on the sleep mode, which disables all notifications. So carrying on, another thing you can be doing is just being mindful about the screen time. So of course, we all can't live without phones, unfortunately. Not in today's day and age, we need our phones. A lot of people work off our phones. We are constantly checking our emails, catching the news. So we obviously cannot, get rid of our phones. What we can do is just be mindful of using these technologies. So what I mean by that is maybe just setting boundaries around when and how you use your devices. So maybe consider scheduling specific times for when you check your email. At the same time, maybe when do you want to catch up on news? Maybe you can set up a time when you do that, and you can iPhone, you can actually set time limits. For example, you only use that app for an hour a day or even 2 hours a day, and every time you've reached that limit, iPhone will send you a notification. So these are things you can do to be intentional with your screen time. And like I said, the whole idea is not to be on our phones, mindlessly scrolling through social media posts or even binge watching Netflix like a lot of us do on our phones these days. It's to be, approaching our screen time with intention. And the way you can do that is, like I said, just, setting those boundaries with yourself. And you can actually nowadays, like I said, use your apps to do so. So, help you reclaim those hours of your day and also cultivate a healthy relationship with technology. The next tip is just consider, exploring some tech-free activities. I don't know if you guys remember hobbies. So I know, in this world of technology, it's very, very hard to look beyond our screens, but maybe it's time to consider investing time into some of your old habits, or maybe some of your hobbies, when you're going for a hike or getting crafty with DIY projects, or at the same time just going for a run or going and reading a book. Whatever it is that can get you away from the screen is a great time for investing. So what I do personally is I like to set some time aside for when I, intentionally, let's say, read a book, and a lot of times that's in my digital detox zone, which is my bedroom. I'll be reading a book there. At the same weekends, I love spending time with my family. We'll try, maybe go for a run or a hike or a swim, some sort of activity that is not requiring our phones. And that's something you could do. And this also, at the same time, brings you the same amount of joy and fulfillment that the social media gives us. That boost of dopamine that we spoke about is exactly just that. So I would highly recommend, rediscovering some of the simpler pleasures of life, and giving your brain that much needed break from the digital onslaught that we have of social media. And last but not least, I could actually touch on a digital sabbatical. Have you ever heard of that? No? Well, it's basically a vacation for your brain. So what that means is just taking regular breaks from technology by scheduling your digital detox days or even weekends. What they really are is just going away, I don't know, maybe on a holiday or even a day without your phone or without social media. Um, I'll tell you a really funny story. There was a time I did this where I completely stopped using social media for almost, I think, good few years. It started out, I know it sounds really hard to believe, but it started as just a little mutual thing that me and my partner decided we'll do. We were like, you know what, we will try and reduce the amount of time we spend on our phones, removing social media. And we did that thinking it'll be a month thing. Well, guess what? A month later, we realized that there was no need for that in our lives. We were not actually using it for anything, important. It wasn't providing any satisfaction to us or gratification in any way. So we eventually actually ended up never using it. I mean, it was brilliant, and it just taught us that it's good being intentional with that. So I would highly recommend using time to just disconnect from your devices completely and focusing on activities that nourish your soul. So for example, when you go abroad on holidays with your family, maybe make it intentional not to take your phone out. I mean, you're on a holiday. Who cares if you need your phone or not? And I know some of you are gonna come at me for saying, of course we need pictures and photos. Yes, but at the same time, you don't need to be using your phone for social media. So of course, feel free to take it out, take photos, but just be mindful of not using your phone for social media when you're out spending time with your loved ones, spending time outdoors. Just be intentional with your time and really, really absorb and appreciate the time that we have with our families and not technology. So I really hope all of this helps you sort of, understand the importance of just, recharging and resetting your relationship with technology. And it's something that you can all take on board. And finally, a small little extra tip I just want to give you all that I've practiced in my house and I've been doing for many, many years, but it's just having tech-free meal times. What I mean by that is just making a rule of putting away all your devices during meal times and just savoring that moment. So we all like to come together as a family at dinner time, especially dinner, and obviously we're all busy working during the day, but at dinner time we try to come together, have dinner together without any form of technology. And I mean like no TV, no phones whatsoever. And that's the time we use to just reconnect with one another, engage in meaningful conversation, and truly just enjoy our food. And I promise you that whole experience just makes it so much more enlightening, but also makes us really appreciate one another. And by removing the distraction of screens, you not only enhance your dining experience, but you also help cultivate a deeper sense of connection with those around you. And I think it's especially important, for families to do so, because I know that now that I'm a little one, I really want her to really appreciate and remember these times, just meal times, as good memories in her brain. So there you have it. I think I've covered about 7 powerful techniques. I can't remember anymore. But there are plenty of techniques, as I've mentioned in today's video, to help you all sort of practice, digital wellness and sort of help stop the mindless scrolling on social media. And just remember, please, it's not about demonizing technology. Like I said, it's not about getting rid of technology. We all need it. We cannot live in a world without technology, and it's only going to get more and more digitalized. So it's just learning how to rather just reclaim the control over how we use such technologies. And I'm hopefully by implementing some of the strategies and tips I've mentioned today, you can kind of empower yourself to live a more balanced and fulfilling life in the super hyper connected world. So I really hope this has been really helpful. If it has, please don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I'm Kay, and I run the Smart Tech Tips channel, which is all about sharing, tech tips and tricks, reviews and demos, and just also sharing how you can live your best life with technology. So we share videos every week. So until next time, stay mindful, stay tech savvy, and stay fabulous. See you later. Bye bye.